I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome back into Pregaming, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, here at Sports Money Network. Happy Friday to everybody. TGIF. You guys know the deal here. Everybody comes together at the last hour, giving all their best bets, all that great information, line movement, trends, angles, injuries, everything we need to help you guys make informed betting decisions. That's what we're here to do tonight. And we got ourselves a nice little card tonight. Got a good college football action. Quite a few games tonight in play. I like these Friday slates. I like college football Fridays, man. It's been a lot of fun. We've been very fortunate thus far. We'll talk about 3 big games on deck. No, I don't want to mess with Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State. No, I don't. But that being said, we do have big games in Houston and Texas Christian University. We've got Syracuse and UNLV, Michigan State and Oregon. Big games we're trying to get after. Lynx and Sun in the WNBA, playoff game number 3. Liberty and Aces, playoff game number 3. Change of venues in both of those. And yeah, why not one Canadian football game? Not college, Canadian football game to get things going. That's going to be the 7 o'clock game as well. So always a lot to do, never enough time to do it. But we're going to get through it. We're going to find a way to get to the window with big winning tickets. Speaking of winning tickets, not a bad day yesterday. We messed around with kick. We got kicked, but we still had some fun with it. And man, what a start to the card. Now, Tampa Bay let me down. Tampa Bay personally did me dirty. Felt offended. Baker Mayfield guy. But, man, yeah, the Brewers blew it. But we cashed that first 5 under. We cashed the teaser on the over in that Tampa game. So, not a bad spot overall, but man, the money was made for sure with them props. We cashed some more. The first 3 touchdowns. The first 3 touchdowns were no problem. It's like I had the script. Now, I didn't expect Atlanta to come back and win the game in overtime. Not Kirk Cousins, not in primetime, but think about that. All trends are due to regress. The over smoked them. That thing was over in like the first quarter. It was crazy what a game that was, though. It was a good game. I will say that it was a good game. I had too much fun, as I tend to do with you guys on screen. And hey, we nailed college football. We got that Texas State first half -7, -8.5. So I told you guys, if we can explain the line movement, and shout out to Ramon Scott for helping us with that quarterback changeup. If we can explain the line movement, then don't be afraid that it's moving in that direction and to take a couple extra points if you have to. It was never in doubt, literally from the get-go. And that was a nice winner. And of course, the UTEP over 50. I think they're still playing. I think that game's still going on. So not bad all in all. Another grinding day. That's what this stuff is. It's a grind. We grind. We figure it out. We got to know the numbers. We got to stay true to the cause and get it done. Speaking of the cause, shout out to Redbeard gifting a Sports Money membership. Man, a bunch of you guys, members galore the last couple of days. I appreciate you guys, man. Shout out to you, Oldie. Says, what up, you dirty dogs? Let's go. And shout out to Redbeard. I know you guys have been gifting like crazy. And it's awesome, man. It means a ton. We're helping grow the community. You guys are helping grow the community. Continuing to bring you guys more content, more. Said earlier today, things change by the day around here. Maybe we can bring some more fun stuff to the table. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen when you wake up the next day. what's sports money bringing to the table? And what more are we going to get involved with here? I did send out college football plays to the members. Gave you guys a 4-pack of early action that I want to get cashing with. Joe, I saw Joe's comment. It made me laugh. But shout out to Redbeard, because you guys gifting those memberships. If you got a membership, give one forward. We're going to do more content specific to members. We get over the weekend. There's a lot of things going on. Hockey. Hey, the quest for 62.5 units. If you checked us out yesterday, you cashed that Devils bet. No sweat. Gave that one out there last night. Talked to everybody about that. It was just on the fly. It was a little impromptu Sabres, Devils, the international series out there. Nice little angle and trend to get that cash. Easy regulation went out there. I think they beat them up 4-1. So we're on our way. And that's how we roll in the NHL. I couldn't wait for the season, and I can't wait to get after it. But lots of games on Saturdays and Sundays, and there's just not enough time to do it. So, we'll go through it, of course, Monday to Friday. But with the NBA season upon us here as well, members on the weekends going to get special treats from all of the crew, all the folks here at Sports Money, trying to grow this thing, and appreciate you guys that do support us and are growing with us. So shout out to you, Redbeard. Thank you for that gifted membership. Big day today, you guys. Big card, big day. Lots of things to get going on. So let's do just that, man. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, that should be step number 1 when you guys log into this thing. Hit that thumbs up button. Hey, you like the content? You appreciate the show? Maybe you're just going to fade everything that's been given on screen. I wouldn't do that, but throw the thumbs up out there, regardless of what you're going to do. Start the game there for us. And appreciate you guys that do just that. So let's go. You guys know the deal. It's pen and paper time. The best in the business assemble here. They're giving their favorite looks to cook the books. We've been marinating on the card all day long. I don't even know where the day goes at some points here. I mean, it's 6 o'clock already. It's like, whoa, what happened? I feel like I just woke up. Been grinding all day, grinding through this thing. We don't need that so close to my face. But let's go. Appreciate you guys. Share your best bets in the chat. You know the deal. We want to talk and recognize what all of you guys are on as well. Damn, some of you guys were all over that Mets. Shame on me, because I found a couple of trends after this show that popped up and definitely said it was a Mets spot. Disappointed, but we move on. We live to fight another day. Man, them touchdown props were hot, though. Hot. We had the sharp report came through for us. Didn't get the first touchdown, but gave us a nice plus 255 touchdown. Andy ended out there and got 2 touchdowns on top of that. So let's get to work. Let's see what's going on. Commenter numero uno, Joe T, 99.5% first comment ratio out there, says, hey, Mike M. Joe T, after your underplay of the day was this afternoon. So don't best bet for the night slate. Let's go. He is giving us some hockey action, though, preseason from Joe T. Over. Red Rover. Joe T's all over the over here. We got Wild and Blackhawks over 6, the Jets and the Flames over 6, the Oilers and Canucks over, but I'm waiting. So I know Jeff talked about this last season. Canadian teams that play tend to go over, if that total 6.5. So you got an over there with the 6 in the Jets Flames game. And it's juiced to the under. But we'll see how that trend lives this year. Again, I busted out the old trend database last night, dusted it off, took a look at what was cashing for us. And speaking of cashing for us here, going to have the NFL prop shop tonight. Got a new guest coming in tonight. You guys know him. I think you're going to like what's going on out there. And a big UFC card. Well, I'm thinking about it tomorrow. It's UFC 307. See if we can't get Sub Club to release some action for us this weekend as well. The EPL firing up for our guy. There's Old E. Says, what up, you dirty dogs? There's Nicholas Handy. Keith. I know Keith had a big afternoon. Big afternoon for my guy Keith, every stride. Nunya's in the house. Let's go. Nunya, shout out to Jay Main, says, what up, gang? There's my guy Smoke. It's easy to be the first person in the chat. I challenge Joe T to be the 13th person for 5 straight days. Shout out to you, Smoke. Humble and gentle Mexicans back in the house is Good Friday Pimp Slap. It's time for some cash money, if you ask me. I agree. J Main 34 says, Joe T, I just did an NHL preseason 3-team Ducks, Blackhawks, Winnipeg, Calgary over. What is the total on that 6? Or what is the total on that? Let's see here. Edmonton's at 6.5. That Oilers, 6.5 out there for them Oilers. That should mean an over, but it's preseason. Let's go. Hugh Janus, Pip. I done told you about that. I know you did. I know. You're going to have more baseball action tomorrow. The second round is in play. Shout out to Justin McCalvey, says, sports money is money. Stacks and stacks, baby. Shout out to you, Justin. Good to see you, my guy. Joe W says, Mike, nobody went to jail last night. Oh, man. It was fun. I don't even know what happened. I just know that I woke up and Tampa Bay lost. That sucked. Jay Main says, I was all over the over. Hell yeah. Shout out to Brian Smith. Let's go. A humble and gentle Mexican says, Redbeard, thank you, amigo. A great way to start the Friday. Mine expires, so this was very appropriate. Let's go. If you get gifted one, man, give one. Don't be afraid to give one to somebody out. Help them. Bless the action. Let's go. Shout out to Brian Smith says, polishing the turd special. Under 52 in TCU. Brian Smith's looking at my card. Oh, fuck. What's going on here? What is going on here? What's the deal? Having trouble pushing out to X. Huh? I don't know. Is it my internet? Probably. Jesus, you think I live in a fucking third world country with the way my internet has been horrible lately. Let's go. Hugh Janus likes UNLV -6, but need more reasons. Hoping you solidify that. TCU turns it over too much, says Brian Smith. Fanatical Jim, giving some one championship action. You know him as the human flamethrower. Also the author of the 2-minute prop. Giving you some one championship action. I'm going to copy and paste that. Thank you, Fanatical Jim. Redbeard says, got to go with Cuse money line on that one. I believe in Kyle McCord. Brian Smith says, my bad, it was 51. Super true story. Houston will look totally different tonight. TCU defense mid at best. Humble and gentle Mexican. Stacy Sneed, Houston quarterback versus Cook. That's like Johnny Cash, a boy named Sue. Stacy Sneed, most rushing yard. Both are almost at even lines. Who's the one who gets it? I want to make the bet. Thank you. I don't want to spoiler alert this thing, but you can't count on Houston to do anything. That's the cap on that game. Anything for Houston, I would stay the F away. Hugh Janus says Syracuse +6 seems like a sucker bet. Nunya. Shout out to Nunya rocking with us. There's Joe T. Winner circles. Hey, yo. UFC tomorrow. Big money to be made on sports money. Yes, sir. It is. Let's go. Smoke and mirrors. Giving you the, I don't even know what that is. Ja Ali. It's a lot of vowels, dude. You know I struggle. When there's all those vowels, Smoke. So, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I see it all over the place. I like to look. I'm going to write it down. Keep my eyes on it. Let's see what happens. Hugh Janus says, Pimp, I see and listen to you more than my voice. I appreciate that, man. Who was it the other day that was like, I think it was it Tarek B said, my daughter said, are you listening to Mike again? I can't remember who it was. Appreciate that, Hugh Janus. We spend a lot of time together, don't we? Spend streams together, trying to make that money, man. Just enjoying the sport. Shout out to Joe W with the super sticker. Appreciate you, Joe, my guy. Rocking with us. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super sticker. I've got a button I'm going to put together for us here. I got a super sticker button that we're going to use for the donations, Joe, and you just reminded me of that. So thank you. Let's go. Let's get after it. Dale Fick. Says, glad you returned from Mars safely. I was, yeah. Nunya says, insane that only K. Reed and Coyne had Falcons in the contest. K. Reed's a sharp one, man. I hope his mini Hank is doing all right out there. I remember Hank. Bill McDonald says Liberty and Lynx better teams. Oh, John says they're running backs. His bad. I still wouldn't mess with Houston. Super true story says, with that said, only like the over. Joe T's adding the over in the Rangers Islanders. Nunny says, hit that like button. And Jay Peasy in the house says, I used up my Sabres pick before the season even started. Newsflash. I haven't eaten all day. I was drinking last night. So I'm a little hurting today. I'm a little slow. It's my own fault. I don't know what the hell's going on with X. That sucks. We're having trouble. Please check X. I don't know. Shout out to Joe T with the $1.99 dono. Says that's all I can afford after the Brewers lose. Man. You know, I talked about the zigzag theory for baseball. Keep this one in mind. Despite the zigzag theory not holding true majority of the time, if the dog wins the first game and then loses that next game, they win that third game and they win it. Let me see how many times they win it. They win it a shitload of times. I'll tell you exactly how many times they win it. 15 of the last 16 times in the playoffs. So remember that for this next round, because sometimes we won't be together and it'll be on a Saturday or a Sunday. The dog wins the first game, loses the second game. They win that third game 15 of 16 times. Now 16 of 17 times, right? 15 and 1 goes to 16 and 1. 16 of 17. I wish I'd seen that before making final decisions yesterday, but sometimes the day gets away from us. So let's go. Let's not let this day get away from us. We got to get cracking. We got to get cashing. We got to get moving. Got so much shit going on right now, man. Woo! We got college football, a whole nother bevy of plays that I will launch out there for us. I think I'll have another 4 or 5 college football plays. We probably get to 10. I don't know about 10. There's some big lines for college football this weekend, so I don't know if we'll get quite to 10, but I know I got at least 4 more. 4 more coming on this weekend. We got the big UFC. I got tabs open everywhere. We got NFL, prop shop. But let's talk about some college football. Let's get into it here. Let's talk about this Houston TCU game. And I told you, you can't count on this Houston team to do shit. But here's the overarching strategy, or overarching. I talked about this last week too for you guys. Just keep this in mind because there's a couple spots that this does play a part for us here. The Dogs on Friday have been barking. They are 12-2 over the last 14 Friday games in college football. 12-2. 12 of 14 times the dog has covered on a Friday. It's a lot of dogs. You know, I'm reminded of somebody that used to do a show with us, and he was like, his favorite, I think his favorite day to bet was Thursday. And he said he liked to bet Thursday because, it was kind of the sharper day. You could find opportunities for dogs to cash. But he said Fridays were tough because the public gets paid. The public's getting their paychecks. They're going out there and they're putting that money at the casinos. The lines are tight. And if you're betting favorites here, you're getting your goose cooked like it's Christmas Day because these dogs have been barking. But that being said, all of that said, let's look at this game. It opened at 19.5. It has dropped to 16.5. So we have 66% of the bets and 64% of the cash now looking at this Houston Cougars program. The total's moving on up from 50.5 to now 51.5. We have 71% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the over. It has ticked up Just a touch. I just told you about the dogs. I told you about the weekends. Or I'm sorry, the Friday spots out there. I just don't know how you can get there with this team. I mean, 16.5, 17 points. TCU, I believe, can score 17 points. I don't see that being a problem for them. Where I see the problem is Houston. You look at this team, look at their performance overall. We look at, kind of some of them recent games out there. Houston, 0 points. Iowa State, 0 points. Cincinnati, back-to-back zeros. They did score 33 on Rice, but they scored 12 against Oklahoma. They scored 7 against UNLV. The team can't find the end zone. That's why I said you can't trust Houston to do anything. They're getting roasted. And the unders hit now 5 straight games for that team. 4 of the last 5 for TCU have gone over. Little flipperoo out there. And they just dusted Kansas on the road, 38-27. But just 3-2 on the season. I don't think they look at this team lightly. I think when we look at the overall performance out there, TCU, when they're in the favorite role, they are 0-3 against the spread. This was a tricky one for me because at the end of the day, I wanted to take TCU, but I kind of see that. I kind of see those numbers and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I know the dogs can bark and this number's coming down. It's kind of a similar spot that we did yesterday with Texas State. It's a double dipper for me to open the card up. I can't see Houston scoring 17 points. If they get 2 touchdowns, I'll be fucking impressed. They can score 5 field. They'd have to get into field goal position to go 5 times out there, and that would make me impressed. I don't see that happening. And in this case here, I got to take that team total under. That's a -115 that I was able to get that at. I also looked at the TCU in the first half. And why the first half? Hang on one second. Why the first half? Because I think they could have to a fast start. They're coming off of feeling good. They're focused to beat this team. They're 3-2. Their season not over. A 2-loss team can certainly make the playoffs. I don't expect that to be a TCU team to get that done, but just kind of looking at the strength of the opponent here, Houston can't score. I don't see any problem with TCU going down there, finding an early couple of touchdowns and covering that 9.5 for us. Line's coming down, but I think that second half, I think this is one of those spots where they kick the shit out of Houston so much in the first half, they start bringing in backup players again. That's why I picked that first half spot out there. They score a ton of points. They're a pretty consistent team all around. When you look at kind of some of their other numbers, let me see here. What happened? Where'd this go? My computer is not cooperating today, but they had no problem scoring. 38 points on Kansas, 42 on SMU, 34 on UCF, 45 against the suspect Long Island, even Stanford. They put up a 34 spot out there. I like TCU to get started strong. I think Houston, not their year, to say the least. And clearly, things are moving in the wrong direction. The other thing I was thinking with this thing is, how long does Houston go with the situation that they have on offense before they have to pull the hook? Could that happen in the first quarter? You can't. Boosters cannot sit around watching no points get scored going on 3 weeks in a row. I wouldn't be surprised. Old Mother Hubbard, I don't know who's in the cupboard, but I wouldn't be surprised for Houston to make some radical changes as they get into that second quarter if they find themselves down 7-0 or 10-0 after this first quarter. So be on the lookout to potentially fade the shit out of Houston throughout this game. I do expect some movement out there. Ryan K, TCU first half over 17.5, team total over. The hook scares me on that. The hook is what gets me on that, the 17.5. I've been there before. I don't like to get that hook. But at 9.5, the reason I like the 9.5 is because 2 touchdowns, 14-0. We see that Houston team's not able to put it in the end zone. It seems like that could be a spot. But, this could be that surprise spot. I mean, look, this one to me is exempt from the dogs winning on Friday. Houston's that bad. They're not scoring. They haven't shown any ability to score. They're not even getting close to scoring. Give me that Houston spot. And let's keep it rolling. Let's move on to this Cuse game. Game I'm excited about here. You know the deal. You see the Cuse jersey in the background, right? See it out there. There she is. Little Donovan McNabb. Syracuse open up as +4 road doggies. We see it now 58% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the orange. Now, this number was 6. It moved up to +6 at a full 2 points of movement. Guess what's happening? It's coming back down. Now 5.5 starting to show themselves in the marketplace. 54.5 is the total. It moved up to 55.5. 76% of the bets and 83% of the cash. What do we know about these two teams? Well, we know that I love this spot for so many different reasons. What do we know about UNLV? Well, their quarterback. I don't know if he was asking for more money. The rumor was that they agreed to pay him a certain amount of money and they didn't pay him. But I don't know. I heard some other rumors that the agent started going out there asking for more money and they said, no, we're not going to give you any more money. And so he walked. Okay. Now we got Malik Williams rolling out there for UNLV. Where do you want to start with this one? How about this? Syracuse. Oh, they lost last week. You can tell by my voice where I'm going with this game. Oh, they had a tough game. They lost to Stanford. 26-24. They were 10-point favorites. They were at home. Now they are making their first road trip. They did beat the shit out of Holy Cross. Holy shit. 42-14 in that spot. But when you look at the way this UNLV team is made up, now going out to a new quarterback here in Malik, they're a rushing team. They're the 6th rushing offense in college football. Could be problematic. Houston's been having difficulty all season when it comes to dual threat quarterbacks and their ability to stop that run and bottle it up. Their saving grace in this game, they're number 3 in passing in all of college football. 150 teams. They're sitting there at number 3. McCord, 372.5 yards a game through the air. What I like about that is even if UNLV wants to slow the game down, Sloke is out, Williams is in, they want to slow the game down and keep it on the ground. Once Kyle McCord gets the ball in his hands, he's comfortable throwing it. Now, there are some offensive line challenges. They're getting sacked a ton. And that could lead to some quick turnovers early in this game, which definitely scares me. God, what is this? I turned something on. I must have accepted a notification or something. It just keeps popping up across the screen. But regardless of that, you know the deal. The dogs are barking on Fridays. I know it's their first road trip, but hear me out. They bounced back. They figured their deficiencies out against Holy Cross. They were prepped. Just because it's their first road trip doesn't mean they weren't ready to go. And you got a team that can pass the ball. When you get down, you have no problem throwing it through the air because you're doing it all season long. And you're doing it to the number 3 in the country. Passing game, to me, if it's effective, can be the kryptonite that nukes a rushing team because you can spend, listen, we've seen this how many times? 7.5-minute drives. Go down the field. And then you can't convert that first down when you're getting close to the red zone. You miss a field goal. All of a sudden, that other team that passes, boom, 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 takes it through the air. And now you're down. How many times can you rush if you're down? The other angle that I like about this one, it's the star player theory. But this time here, it's in our favor. We talked about Sloka being out. Williams is in. Williams was in last week. That was the first game. The first time a team replaces its star player, players step up. What happens after that? They shit the bed. Full time. Oh, no. Nasty Nate. This is only 34 likes. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing here in the chat? Come on, man. Close the comments. Hit the thumbs up. Open the comments back up and let's go. There we go. Smoke. I mean, there's not an H in that fucking thing, Smoke. Highlight. Okay. Highlight. I get it. Happy Friday to you, Peter Gracia. Hugh Janus says, why don't you think the line is affected by the quarterback change for UNLV? Does QB really matter if the defense is legit? Because I think when the quarterback is, when I just said it, when things get tough and you've got to go rely on somebody. Yeah, he was out there in training camp and prep of the season trying to figure it out, but I don't think he can make it happen. I just think when it comes down to it, that rushing, it's more to me as a function of the rushing game being stopped short and then being able to have McCord come back out there. Look, he played with Ohio State. Ohio State picked him to go to that program, and we know that Ohio State can be an elite squad. But he didn't like the shit going on with Ryan Day. He opted to come back to Cuse, getting him close to his roots. And I think they're ready to go. I just think it's too many points. I don't know that they're a live dog, but I just think it's too many points. I don't see him going out here with this big road trip, getting excited to make this thing happen, flying across country. They're going to be in Vegas, these kids. I think they're fired up for this game. I think they're ready to go. I think they're ready to meet the test. They're upset about that Stanford spot, but they thumped everybody else along the way. And I think that they've got enough. I think here's the thing. Syracuse program transformed when they bring in McCord and then they go out there and they recruit the defensive guy. Look at how much did the defense matter for Georgia? Well, look what happened in that Bama game. Fucking still, that game got 100 points. You take that defensive component out, the players that he positioned, the guys that he brought with him, I think he can scheme to shut that running game down, force that quarterback on his back leg or on his heels. And I think it's just too many points. Again, I don't know if they win this game outright, but you know the deal for me. If I'm giving you Syracuse, if I'm giving you a New York squad, I got to really like it because can't bet it legally. So I have to go to the offshores and the locals. And every time I fucking put a bet on a local spot, my bookie wants to know what I know. So for me to go through that process, I went through it this morning. It's time to take some cues and get us paid. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. Big Worm says, let's get paid, baby. I'm on Vegas first half. Them girls going to cash out. Shout out to Wine Time. There's Steve Bailey. I lean to the under. I lean to the under in that Syracuse spot. It seems like it should be an over. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. Steve, I couldn't decide. To me, I just decided it was easier to take. I don't want to say easier, but the right play for me was taking Syracuse. Not just a homer pick, but I think Syracuse makes some noise, man. They're going to shake some trees. They're going to make some people go, what the F just happened out there? And look, in the dog roll, they are 1-0 against the spread. They play well in a dog roll. They surprise people is what that means out there. And shout out to Big Worm. What up, Big Worm? New member out there, Big Worm. Welcome to the squad, my guy. I don't know, Steve. I don't know. I think the coaching changes. He was done. He wasn't happy with what Day was doing. And he left, regardless of how he left. Rob McMahon says, Cuse, baby. Vodka style. Let's go. Steve asked, right time. Why not just, I love you guys having a good chat conversation out there. Positive community that we got here. J-Dub says, UNLV proved themselves to me at Houston, putting up 27 on that defense. And Kansas, Cuse hasn't shown anything. I don't know about that, JW. Houston's bad. Houston's a bad team. We just talked about how bad Houston is. But I get what you're saying. Wine Time thinks Houston will be able to score as well. So that wouldn't surprise me. I just would surprise me to see him get to 17 points. I think the early reaction there is, they'll probably get late garbage time because they're getting so thumped in that game. But we'll see. Let's keep her moving. We got some 7 o'clock plays we got to get to with the CFL. So let's move on. Michigan State. I couldn't believe myself with the bet that I made today on this one. Michigan State opened up at 26.5 point. Huge road dog. 44% of the bets and 59% of the cash. Shook the books. The bigger money coming in on Michigan State. They dropped it a full field goal down to 23.5. And the total's been kind of ping-pongy, but it's now looking like it's moving towards the over. So we want to be cognizant of some of those late moves. 78% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 52.5 to 53.5. I look at these teams that go 4-0, right? Like an Oregon spot. Are they a 4-0 team? Well, the record says they are. Have they looked like shit? Yeah, in some spots, certainly they have. They're coming back home after back-to-back road trips, right? They had the The Oregon State game, they thumped them 49-14. UCLA on the road beat them up 34-13, did not cover. In fact, not covering, overvalued potentially, maybe. When I say I can't believe the spot I'm in, I mean, it's back-to-back spot losses for Michigan State. They lost at BC. All right. BC's probably going to lose this weekend, but that team was playing strong at home. They go out there and they take down or play an Ohio State team, maybe the class of the Big Ten, maybe. I would argue that Penn State's probably got a good shot this year, but again, not to be a homer in that pick, but look, 38-7 was not a great loss for them boys, but with a road trip on deck, not surprised. I mean, Oregon's it's not an easy travel to get out there. You gotta fuck around, jump through a bunch of hoops. It's a long distance trip. But the thought that I had with this one here, the angle that I found for this one that really jumped out, it's a 43-12. They're covered by 8, I think it was like 8.2 points a game. It's the revenge spot. The revenge spot and the bright lights on the road. If you lost to the team the last time you played them, you're off a loss, which is, think about what that means. From a book's valuation perspective, the books are saying these guys don't have a chance. They just lost. They've lost to the team before. Let's jack that lineup. And what they're finding is that 8-point margin of victory is enough to go out there and potentially get the W. So, for me, that's an opportunity. It's the revenge narrative, but it's more about being on the road under the bright lights, trying to get that valuation right. We talked about that yesterday. We want to try to get those teams that come off a loss versus a team that's coming off the win. And that's very much a situation that fits this mold as well. 43-12 is that trend spot that I was telling you guys about. And it's an 8-point margin of victory. You want to be close to 10, gives you a little wiggle in case those lines do come down. It did come down. We're going to take the plus 23.5. Give you guys that 4-pack. It's a 4-pack of college football action, not to mention dogs are feasting on Fridays. 12-2. Pick some Michigan State action in your lives. Don't be afraid to get after that money. I think it's gonna be tight. Wine Time says they won't score more than 10. I'm gonna write that down, Wine Time. I'm gonna write that down. I also thought about this game, in terms of the side. I was looking at the over. I was thinking about the over in this game, if anybody wants to tease it. By the way, speaking of teasers, heard an incredible stat today. Bookies feasting on people that are taking the favorites down in the NFL. So keep this in mind for a little educational opportunity if you guys play teasers in the NFL on Sundays. When you take a -6 and you make them a pick 'em, books are cooking you. It's the guys that are teasing up, that are adding more points, that are making the line longer, that are crushing it. Like we did yesterday with that Tampa Bay spot, right? We had Tampa plus 8.5 and the over 37. Well, the over was never in question. But, in this case, Tampa gets the job done with the 8.5 for us in our back pockets. So I don't know what made me think of that, but I guess it was the teaser. If you're going to tease this guy, I would tease Michigan in the over in this one. But look, Wine Times thinks it's the other way. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to DM them later. If they get to 11 points, Wine Time, turn your notifications on, buddy. We'll see what happens, though. It is Friday. It's any given Friday. It's college football under the bright lights. Let's talk some women's basketball. Let's get her moving here. Whoops. There we go. I think we've been pretty dialed into the series. We talked about the situational spot out there. The big thing for me, I expect the Lynx to be the Sun to be able to go kick the shit out of and make their way to the WNBA championship. And I don't expect it to be the Aces, by the way, for what it's worth. I said this the other day. I expect it to be a Liberty Sun championship. We have 60, they fuck around with the percentage of cash on action here, but we have 15,400 tickets in. This line moved from -1.5 to -2.5 in favor of the home team, the Sun. 67% of the bets, no cash action. We look at the total, no movement, but huge money pouring in on this. When I say huge, 50-50 bets, 94% of the cash on the over. Line has not moved. shaded slightly to the over, slightly, but there's still minus 110s out there. That should be a red flag. Then you look at this, the money line, because it's a tight game. So we'll look at the money line as kind of a little further valuation process, see if there's any leading indicators there. Minus 125 is where it opened. It's moved to minus 140. 67% of the bets and 95% of the cash on the Sun. Look, we talked about it yesterday, or the last time these two teams played. We expected that was a spot for the Lynx to step up. They were backs against the wall, and they couldn't afford to go out to Connecticut down 2-0. They shot like shit in the first quarter game. The first game, they finished like shit in the fourth quarter. They closed that gap at home because they needed to. They also shot 42% from deep. I mean, they were firing. Home court, sight lines, must-win spot. Their role players stepped up. 25 for 48 from the field, 7 of 15 from 3. Crazy. The role players, the bench players, 68 of the team's 77 points. You think they're going to do that when they roll on out to Connecticut now? Connecticut comes back home. The series is split. Just 36% from the field. They shot that last game, 25% from 3. Back at home. The Connecticut Sun are 7-3 off a loss in the postseason. They bounced back incredibly well. Playoff home favorites that lost the previous game are 33-19 since 2005. I talked about that last game and it be a must-win spot for the Minnesota Lynx. If you look at it, the second best home defense, the Minnesota Lynx. They're going on the road. They're dealing with I got them in I got them a fade him spot out there. I got a Connecticut Sun spot with reverse line movement, 339 and 283, a huge sample. And I'm banking on this bounce back opportunity out here. Give me a little bit of this Suns money. I think it's Sun money. I think it's a strong play. I think these guys are ready to go. These girls are ready to go. But I'm not just going to stop there. It's a double dipper. I expect the Sun to blast them. I think they go back out there. They open the series back up. They get that 2-1 lead. This over here. 2-1 lead, double dipper spot here. I think they come out fired up. That last game, the star players couldn't do it for the Lynx. The role players had to step up, and they've got the benefit of being in that home gym. Those sightlines are super important. We're going to fade away on this Lynx. We're going to take that strong angle. Yeah, maybe defense can travel and it's a playoff game. Do I expect it to be a lower scoring game? I do. I was trying to emphasize that fact that all that money's coming in on the over and it hasn't moved is a problem. But I think that creates a problem for the Lynx. I think their star players are just off their marks right now. I just don't think they're in a good spot to go out there and excel. I'm going to take a little double dipper with the Connecticut Sun. And let's go to Liberty and Aces. Last game for the WNBA, then we'll get to the CFL. We'll keep things moving. We'll get everybody up and out of here. Look at this Aces team. Backs against the wall. Do or die. Shit for information on the split. None. 13,772 tickets. All I can tell you is the line opened up at +3 for the Liberty. They're starting to see some 3.5s, and they're seeing the total come down. 166 has moved down to 165.5. I got no split information. We talked about it, though. What was the problem that last game that the Aces had to figure out? And damn if we weren't just 2 points off of crashing that under. But they had to figure out how to stop that Liberty team. Firing on all cylinders. Aces, gassed out. Back-to-back championship spots out there. Now exhausted, trying to figure things out. But home cooking. Girls got to sleep in their home beds. Travel spot for the Liberty. What that leads to me is a potentially slow starting situation for the Liberty. The Aces probably feeling pretty good about how they were able to identify or at least align to manage that the offensive output that the Liberty can deal with. Couple the travel. What I expect an Aces defense to come out hungry, pass that ball around. They got to keep that score down. The books aren't moving this line over. Should be another concern. It's playoff basketball. But we got ourselves a nice little trend here in the WNBA. How about this? Teams going back home down 0-2. 93-52 in the first half of game 3. 93-52 in basketball. How can you not take a shot? 93-52 with all the factors aside. Do they win the game? Probably. Can they come out early? I think so. I expect the sleepiness with this Liberty team. And if they come out there and they shock the world and they go beat the shit out of them in the first half, all right, I expect the Liberty to be in the championship anyways. But I think this is a number that the Aces can cover. I love that almost 2-to-1 trend with a ton of sample behind it. Hell yeah, I'm taking the Aces in the first half. We're going to ride. Let's go, Aces. Give me that money. Let's go. Let's go. Get that cash. Why the hell not? Big Worm. That's what I'm getting on, Mike. Aces first half. Hell yeah, Big Worm. It makes sense. For me, the narrative around the NBA is a little bit different. I don't buy into that. I can't stomach that. They took this game off. They're going to try the next game. Shit. I don't understand it. You don't want to play the game. Don't play the fucking game. But in the WNBA, I feel like we're pretty dialed in. And shout out to Sub. He's back in the house. Let's go. Justin says, great minds think alike. I like that we're lining up here. It's either going to be really bad for the bookies or we're going to get cooked. But I think we cook them. I think this Aces first half, like that spot. I think it's going to be fun. Let's go. Last game for you guys here. Last game on the docket. We're going to cover a little CFL action. Just a 7 o'clock game, though. I'm not. With all the other action, I'm very jacked up for college football. I think I've had a really decent season with college football so far. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm a knockout boy. I'm a firm believer. Don't get overexcited. But I looked at this game here and talk about excited. This Hamilton team's been shit. Total shit. Bo Levi Mitchell, he's passing 69%. He's got himself like 4,400 yards. He's sloppy with the ball. He's got 26 touchdowns. He's got 14 interceptions. But you got to want to go out there and beat the shit out of a team that's rolling. The class of the CFL is these Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And they're on a 7-game winning streak. Haven't lost on the road since July 27th. When we talked about the CFL, remember the thing we talked about? Maybe you guys don't. Maybe I'm asking myself a rhetorical question. Teams on the road are 500. Almost, if you look across the CFL, almost every single team on the road is 3-3 or 4-4. They're just 500 for whatever reason. Those home field advantages are a big deal out there. And so I mentioned the sloppiness of Bo Levi Mitchell, but the Ticats are on a 4-game winning streak. They're at home. They've covered 5 straight games in the dog roll. And they've won 4 of them outright. 4 of the Bomber 6 losses on the road. What I talked to you guys about. Road teams go back to 500. I think it's an opportunity for us to capitalize. I think it's a great opportunity for us to capitalize. In fact, the +4, this is a live dog spot in my estimation. You got to be jacked up. You got to be ready for the best team in the league to come into your house. It's your house. I've seen Hamilton throw up some stinkers, but I think Bo Levi Mitchell can, it's like we talked about yesterday. How does some of these, what was it? Texas State. How do we think Texas State's going to bounce back? Well, because if you throw sloppy football around, those are some things that you can work on. You can try to get the line to give you just another second to throw the ball. You can just ask, you can just change the schematics a little bit. Take a deep breath. You're not back in that game where you're trying to come from behind and you're chucking the ball all over the yard, hoping to catch touchdowns. I think they can control the turnovers for Bo Levi Mitchell this game. Fired up with the best team in the league coming into their house, or best current team in the league coming into their house. And I'm going to take the +4. Give me those points. Home dog, Friday night. Fuck yeah. That's how we're going to get paid. That's how we're going to wrap her up on top of that. We got through the huge card. We did it before 7 o'clock. Tarek B's adding the first quarter. I'm assuming that's the Vegas game. Futon Bet says New York Liberty over 40.5 first half team points. Let's get this cash. On that heat. In fact, they're playing like they're on fire. They don't have shit to play for. Hamilton does. It's a great spot, I think, for us to take Hamilton. Let's ride, you guys. That's how we're going to do it for Friday night. Lots to do. There's always lots to do. We got all kinds of things popping off. Make sure you guys check out my guy, Ramon Scott. Tomorrow morning, the morning steam. He's talking 2.5 hours. It's going to rapid fire college football action at you guys. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm going to dial in there and check out what my guy Ramon's doing. We're going to be floating around doing all kinds of things, but the big UFC 307 stream tomorrow night, 6:15. I believe it's a 6:45 card start. So we're going to cover, you know what we do, cover the prelims. We're going to go through the prelim card. We're going to talk to you guys about the spots that we have, how we think the fights are going to go, leans that we haven't pulled the trigger on, and the bets that we've already made to get paid. But in the meantime, First Strike is out there for you guys. Your boy here, 10-3 over the 13 appearances I've had on First Strike. 10-3. We're up 9.25 units, I believe was the number. So go check it out. I think I gave you guys a, I don't remember what I gave you, but it's in there. I know it's in there. I think it was an E. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Go check it out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button too. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. Shout out to JW. He's on Columbus plus 240. Like it. Shout out to Sub. Member for a month. Says EPL long shot for tomorrow. Calvert Lewin to score a goal assisted by McNeil at plus 1100. Woo! McNeil has created more chances for CL than any pairing in the EPL. Wow. There's a bomber for you guys. 1100 bomber before we go out there and fire some 1100 UFC shots. Appreciate everybody rocking with us tonight. Thanks to you guys becoming new members. Excuse me. Shout out to Redbeard gifting that Sports Money membership. Joe W with the super sticker. Joe T with the dono. Big Worm becoming a new member. I'm happy to see that. And Subhuman Gaucho getting on board for a month now with us, you guys. Thanks to everybody, man. I hope you guys have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the card. Let's get some cash. If you guys are members, go check out that college football content. We'll have the consensus report back out again, I believe tomorrow for college football. You guys know we talked about that earlier this week. 2 columns. The first one will read Team A over Team B. That means they like that side. And then the second spot you see will be the total, whether they're on the over or the under. Aggregate information from a series of sharp bettors, multiple databases pulled together for you guys. I told you before. Tools and technology to help you guys make informed betting decisions. That'll be the theme for the weekend as well. So I appreciate you guys all rocking with us. Shout out to Wine Time, Sub, J-Dub, Peter Gracia, J-Main, Super True Story, On That Heat, Futon Bets, Tarek B, Justin McKelvey, my dude. Appreciate all you guys rocking. A humble and gentle Mexican rocking with us. Wine Time Sports, Steve, my guy, Nasty Nate, Hugh Janus, Smoking Mirrors, The Chosen One, Ryan Kozlowski, appreciate all you guys, man. Thanks for everything you guys do to come in here prepared, ready to go, sharing your best bet. Shout out to Jay Peasy, my dude. Redbeard, appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Hope to see you guys on Saturday for that big UFC 307 card out there at Salt Lake. Sports Money crew, be ready for pre-gaming for everybody here at Sports Money. Make sure you guys check out our guy Ramon Scott tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., the morning steam. That being said, we'll see everybody real soon.